What is Rent Recovery Plus, Kaz?
So Rent Recovery Plus is a rental insurance and legal expenses policy. So it covers you for if the tenant doesn't pay the rent, the insurance company will, and it also covers you that should you need to evict the tenant for whatever reason, generally for non-payment of rent, then they will cover that bill and they will do all of that legal work.
Why is Rent Recovery Plus so important for landlords?
I think Rent Recovery Plus is really important for landlords because to ensure that you're protected. It's a big asset, and I think also as well as you need to cover for any eventuality that might happen. What if the tenant doesn't pay the rent for 1 month? You may be able to cover it for 1 month, but if 1 month turns into 2, turns into 3, obviously you may have a mortgage on that property you need to pay, but then also you're going to need to look at evicting the tenant, and there is a cost associated to that.
Okay, so when do the legal expenses come into play and how does that work?
So depending on the policy that you've got, we'll have a different time scale and plan from there. The policy that we use, after 20 days of non-payment of rent, we can make a claim with the insurance. They will then look to obviously start that process, and they then look to make payment to the landlord. They will cover that non-payment of rent for up to a term of 6 months. Some policies have slightly lesser term, some have a slightly higher term, but 6 months is more than enough because in that period of time they will commence legal action on the tenant to get them evicted. That's where the cost element comes in for the insurance company.
So what happens if I've got a really good tenant, they've paid their rent on time for a full year, do I then need to renew my policy?
Simply yes. I often get asked the question, and I think that whilst if you've had a tenant who's got a good previous history, can help you make a decision going forward, it can't predict the future. And tenant situations do change. They may separate and therefore only have one income coming in, they may lose their job. There are a number of reasons, and unfortunately, it does happen, so I think it's really important. With rents ever increasing month on month, year on year, whatever the cost of your policy is, the likelihood is your rent increase will cover the cost of that policy. So for me, it's not really an expense.